Hello everyone, you have come to Tata Comic Preview channel. Let read together. Have fun. When the two of them landed on Kuanpeng, he bowed his head and said, Master, according to your instructions, everything is resolved. Result. There was no response from the front. Li Wujie was worried.
Oh no.
Is Master not satisfied? What is this guy doing? Hong Qianya raised his head tentatively, and his nose was almost crooked with anger. On the recliner in front of him, a handsome young man was lying on his back without any image, with a sky-blue eye mask on his eyes, drooling at the corners of his mouth, and he was falling into a deep sleep. He looked unshakable, completely out of tune with the outside world. Master, wake up quickly, Bai Xiaoxi whispered in his ear. Yi Junlin woke up slowly and took off his eye mask. Has it been solved? Yes, the enemy has been completely annihilated by us. Hong Qianye gritted his teeth and resisted the urge to rush up and beat him up. Yi Junlin stretched his waist, came between the two of them, stretched out his hand and patted their shoulders respectively, and praised them in a leader's tone. Well done, keep up the good work. Then, he straightened his back and walked with his hands behind his back with wind in his step. Thank you, Master, for the compliment. Li Wujie was very excited. Hong Qianye curled his lips and cursed secretly. You have agreed to take action, but together you have to ask us to do the work. Underneath. The prince and the others felt uneasy. At this time, I saw a young man in black robe walking towards him with his hands behind his back. He had long, silver-white shawl hair, all of which were shiny. His face was plump and handsome, and his whole body exuded the aura of a banished immortal. Meet Master Yi. The prince looked shocked and quickly bowed his hands. Everyone raised their hands and said in unison, Greetings to Master Yi. Now that the crisis is over, why don't you, Zhou, treat me well? Yi Junlin smiled. The prince said respectfully, Venerable Yi, you are our most distinguished guest, and Dazhou will definitely treat you warmly. Yi Junlin nodded. He came down specifically because he wanted to experience the local fireworks. The group of people traveled through the clouds and missed to the prosperous capital city. The news about the destruction of the ghost army had been spread back to the city in advance. The people in the capital cheered and were full of joy. Look, that's Venerable Yi. It's said that he was the one who destroyed the ghost army. A tea house owner exclaimed. Your Excellency, please accept my obeisance. Many people rushed over and worshipped excitedly. Countless compliments came one after another, all about Yi Junlin. In short, they praised him to the sky. Yi Junlin sighed, Hey, this is obviously the work of my apprentice, how can it be said to be mine? Ahem. The prince looked embarrassed. He had almost finished walking this street, and you mentioned this? Hearing this, Li Wujie said without hesitation, As disciples, our contribution is the credit of our master. Hong Qianye showed contempt, this person is really spineless. Xiao Hong, what do you think? Yi Junlin asked seriously. Hong Qianye immediately said solemnly, I think Junior Brotherly is absolutely right. You're a teachable boy, and I've paid you a lot of attention as a teacher. Yi Junlin said happily. Inside the palace. All civil and military officials in the dynasty were looking forward to it. Welcome to Master Yi. When they saw the silver-haired young man accompanying the prince, they all immediately understood his identity and immediately raised their hands in admiration. This was a ruthless man who single-handedly destroyed millions of monks from the Yuhua sect. Looking at the entire country, except for Emperor Zhou, he had no rivals. The prince said solemnly, Master Yi, my father is waiting for you inside. Oh. Yi Junlin raised his eyebrows. This old boy was quite impressive, so he sat inside and waited for him to come over. At this time, a mellow voice came with an apology, Master Yi, please forgive me for not being able to greet you from a distance. I am really inconvenienced. Yi Junlin walked into the hall, looking stunned. There is a middle-aged man in front of him wearing a dragon robe and a flat crown on his head. He is sitting on a dragon chair with a majestic face. He is exuding a blazing white halo and is enveloped by some kind of power. He seems to be recovering from his injuries. Or maybe it's a state of adaptation. This is the contemporary Emperor Zhou of the Great Zhou dynasty. Emperor Zhou, what are you? Yi Junlin's eyes narrowed slightly. According to memory, this type of dynasty is different from sects and aristocratic families in that they have a mysterious power called national destiny as their trump card. The role of national luck is very mysterious. It can assist cultivation, heal one's body, and increase strength. And the common people of the world form the basis of the national destiny. If a ruler wants to gain blessings for the country, he must be recognized by the general public. Therefore, a mutually beneficial relationship is formed between the two. As the saying goes, water can carry a boat, but it can also capsize it. At this time, Emperor Zhou didn't seem to be in a very good condition. He was taking advantage of Zhou's national fortune to heal his injuries, and he was still a bit frightened and ready to wait. Hey, Venerable Yi is making a joke. Emperor Zhou smiled bitterly. When he saw Yi Junlin for the first time, he was a little surprised by Yi Junlin's young appearance. After all, according to various rumors, Emperor Zhou subconsciously thought that he was a dull, pedantic, old-fashioned white-haired old man. The most important thing is that Emperor Zhou discovered that with his perfect cultivation of the Mahayana realm, he could not see through Yi Junlin's specific realm. Did this person use some kind of secret technique to hide his cultivation? Emperor Zhou was a little confused. Even so, judging from the Battle of Huangzhou, Emperor Zhou also respected Yi Junlin very much. Because except for himself, who carries the fate of a country, no one in the entire Zhou dynasty can pose a threat to him. Yi Junlin said, Emperor Zhou, can you tell me what exactly happened? Emperor Zhou pretended to cough a few times, and the prince understood and signaled the civil and military officials to exit the hall, leaving only a few people. The ghost tribe of Manhwa launched an offensive against me, Great Zhou, for no reason. This was something I, Great Zhou, did not expect. Many ministers in the court were speculating that there were treasures coveted by the ghost tribe in the palace, which is why they were like this. A big fight. Emperor Zhou sighed helplessly, but the problem is that even I, the leader of the Great Zhou kingdom, don't know what this treasure is. Yi Junlin was a little speechless. Are you also confused? Then how did you get this injury? In the entire Great Zhou dynasty, who can hurt a monk who has reached the perfect Mahayana realm? What's more, this is the Emperor Zhou who carries the great destiny of the country. Zun Yi asked the key point. Before the ghost army officially attacked the Great Zhou dynasty, my ancestral mausoleum was once invaded by a mysterious man. Later, I rushed to the scene immediately and used the blessing of national luck to repel that man. A mysterious person. When Emperor Zhou talked about this matter, his face was full of deep fear. The strange thing is that I can accurately feel that the mysterious man is obviously very strong, and even I am not his opponent, but he is restrained. I retreated with some scruples, and after a while, the ghost tribe began to attack me, Dazhou. Hear the words. The prince looked shocked. He originally thought that his father used the destiny of the country to forcefully repel the mysterious man who invaded the ancestral mausoleum, but he did not expect that there was such a thrilling inside story. You must know how powerful the power of national destiny is. With his father's cultivation and the use of national destiny, he is enough to compete with the best in the tribulation realm. However, even his father personally admitted that he was unbeatable. It is conceivable that the opponent's strength is how terrible. The most incredible thing is that the man actually retreated like this. Afterwards, the ghost army began to invade. There must be an inevitable connection between them. It seems that the problem lies in the ancestral mausoleum. Yi Junlin's eyes flickered. Judging from Emperor Zhou's description, the ghost clan was instructed by that mysterious man to attack Zhou dynasty in order to completely capture this ancestral mausoleum. There are definitely huge interests involved behind it, otherwise I would never do such a thankless thing. But the strange thing is that since the mysterious man has the power to crush Emperor Zhou, why did he suddenly give up and retreat? And what is there about this ancestral mausoleum worth exploring? There are so many doubts. The more he thought about it, the more Yi Junlin became more interested. He originally traveled to this world of cultivation, and he had a cheat-like golden finger. He didn't need to practice to lie down, so he had the mentality of playing in the world, eating, drinking, and having fun. He originally thought that the day would pass like this, but he didn't expect to find out that there was a mystery behind it, which made him feel even more interesting. Is there such a strange thing? Li Wujie frowned. The red Chanye next to her narrowed her eyes slightly, and a sharp light flashed in her eyes, as if she was remembering a certain rumor she had heard in the Central Territory. Emperor Zhou, if you don't feel presumptuous, can you take me to the ancestral mausoleum to see it? Yi Junlin said straight to the point. Emperor Zhou sat on the dragon chair and fell into silence. How presumptuous. After all, how important is the ancestral mausoleum to the king of a country? Is it for you, an outsider, to see what you want? The prince saw his father's dilemma and said very politely, Master Yi, the ancestral mausoleum is the resting place of my ancestors. If you enter with your noble body, I'm afraid you will be contaminated with bad things. Then he changed the topic and said respectfully, Venerable Yi has come here and helped us repel the ghost army. He deserves to be warmly entertained by me, the great Zhou dynasty. The state banquet prepared in the imperial dining room is about to begin, so we might as well move to enjoy it at Tianhe Hall. Emperor Zhou also spoke at this time, Master Yi, please forgive me for not being able to meet this request. The ancestral mausoleum of the Zhou royal family cannot be opened casually, but as the most distinguished guest, I will give you the most generous treatment. You can choose any treasure from the treasury. It can be seen that Emperor Zhou is still very sincere. Yi Junlin raised his eyebrows. I am a man with a system. I can be rich enough to rival a country just by signing in every day. How can I lack the things in your treasury? Although Dezhou is one of the immortal dynasties in the East region, the treasury must have many treasures that make outsiders crazy after years of accumulation, but in Yi Junlin's eyes, there is no attraction at all. He is just curious about the intention of the mysterious man to invade the ancestral tomb. Since he is unwilling to open it, Yi Junlin will not force him. He is a casual person. Well. Yi Junlin waved his hand. The prince secretly breathed a sigh of relief and said with a smile, I know that Venerable Yi is a reasonable person. Everyone, please come this way. Then, everyone went to the state banquet. At this time, outside the territory of Dezhou, there is a mountain with a gloomy and terrifying environment. It is clearly a sunny day, but the sun's rays cannot shine in at all. Every few blocks of the road, you can see a few ghost soldiers wearing armor and holding spears standing guard. They have no expression on their faces and exude a strong Yin energy. Deep in the mountain, there is a palace built of bones. The table is full of plates, which are all processed flesh, various human organs, and black and white eyeballs. The smell of blood permeates the air. A ghost creature with gray skin and a single horn on his forehead sits on a throne covered with human skin. His palm as big as a palm fan grabs a bunch of eyeballs in the air and throws them into his mouth to chew. His ugly face shows a comfortable look. My king, this is your wine. At its feet, there is a human female cultivator with disheveled hair, naked, and covered with scars. She holds up a bronze tripod with trembling hands, which is filled with bright red and sticky blood. This is the blood of a 1-month-old baby. The one-horned ghost king took the cup and drank it all. After throwing the cup away, he forcibly hugged the female cultivator in his arms and laughed, It's great. It was very excited to lead the tribe to leave the nether abyss and fight in the outside world, and no longer have to live that boring life without light. After so many years, I finally waited for this opportunity. I must seize the opportunity to perform well. If I can successfully capture the great Zhou dynasty, my prestige in the ghost tribe will be higher. The most important thing is, as long as I get the recognition of those people, I may have a place in the East region in the future. The one-horned ghost king rubbed his chin and sneered. The female cultivator was trembling, her pretty face was full of despair. She was a Jindan casual cultivator in Songzhou. Later, she was unfortunately captured by the other party and suffered painful torture day and night. During this period, she saw too many inhumane scenes. She was mentally broken and wanted to die. However, the other party was too powerful and had been manipulated, so she didn't even have the qualifications to commit suicide. It's been so long, why hasn't there been any news? With the strength of Kunta and the others, it's enough to force Emperor Zhou to take action. The one who I fear most is the guy who carries the fate of the country. The one-horned ghost king looked fierce. At this moment, a strange black mist floated into the hall, and a mysterious man in a black robe and hood walked out. A low and hoarse voice came from under the brim of the hat, containing uncontrollable anger. "Waste. What are you still doing here?" Hearing this, instead of being annoyed, the one-horned ghost king was horrified. He fell to his knees from the throne and said in a trembling voice, "I pay my respects to the envoy." Facing the mysterious man's angry rebuke, the one-horned ghost king was filled with fear and did not dare to complain at all. Because the person in front of him is one of the main messengers behind the scenes. He is a being that all creatures in the abyss must rely on. The fate of all races in the future will be in their hands. Now all the tribes in the underworld are taking action for the holy war, but you, as the ghost king, are hiding in the rear to have fun. Do I understand that the ghost tribe has given up? The black-robed messenger said coldly. What an injustice. I have sent troops to attack the Zhou dynasty. I believe that Emperor Zhou will be forced to take action soon. Then his true identity will be exposed. I will be more confident in dealing with him. The one-horned ghost king was frightened. His heart trembled, and he quickly explained. If this causes a misunderstanding and delays the future of the entire ghost clan, why don't the other ghost kings join forces to tear it apart to vent their anger? The black-robed envoy laughed angrily. Idiot, the 800,000 troops you sent out were already destroyed outside the capital just now. It didn't have any impact on Emperor Zhou. How is that possible? The one-horned ghost king's head was buzzing and his face was shocked. In this army of 800,000, there are dozens of ghost generals in the fusion realm alone, and there are 10 ghost commanders in the Mahayana realm sitting in charge. If the Emperor of Zhou does not come out, he will definitely overthrow the great Zhou dynasty. As a result, he didn't even get into the capital, so he died completely? This great Zhou dynasty is actually so powerful? The one-horned ghost king looked ugly. The black-robed envoy said coldly, the one who destroyed your 800,000-strong army was not the great Zhou dynasty, but a monk who happened to be passing through the great Zhou dynasty. The people in the capital at that time called him Lord Yi. Venerable? The one-horned ghost king was stunned, and then became angry. A foreign Mahayana monk dared to disrupt its plan. I am really impatient to live. Although it was surprised by the opponent's strength, for it in the tribulation realm, a mere Mahayana was nothing at all. Just in case, I give you this Manhwa pill. You must win Dazhou for me. I won't allow you to fail again. The black-robed messenger's voice was ruthless. A purple elixir densely covered with mysterious patterns slowly floated in front of the one-horned ghost king. The one-horned ghost king knew that this was his last chance, so he immediately made up his mind and said in a deep voice, if I go this time, I will definitely fulfill the envoy's wish. The black-robed messenger sneered, and his whole body turned into a black mist and disappeared, as if he had never appeared before. Huh? The one-horned ghost king breathed a sigh of relief and raised his hand to wipe the cold sweat from his forehead. Thinking that this plan was almost ruined, he felt extremely angry inside. Boom! The terrifying evil spirit suddenly erupted, and the entire mountain peak trembled. The one-horned ghost king turned his head and glanced, raised his hand to grab the female cultivator who was huddled in the corner, and growled with a fierce look, "Do you think my behavior just now is ridiculous? Say it." The female cultivator turned pale with fright, and said in horror, "Sir, your majesty, this little girl definitely doesn't." "Bitch, you're lying." Bang. The one-horned ghost king was so angry that he grabbed her and flew into the sky. His roar echoed like thunder in all directions, "All soldiers, follow me to the battle." Yes. Then, countless ghost shadows followed the one-horned ghost king, carrying the black mist and heading straight towards Dazhou. Tianhe Hall. Several beautiful and veiled palace maids danced gracefully, matching the beautiful music played by the geisha, creating a unique artistic conception. At this time, Yi Junlin and the others were enjoying the highest-level state banquet in the Great Zhou dynasty. These ingredients are not ordinary things. They are either rare birds and animals, or taken from natural materials and treasures. Therefore, each dish is priceless and contains many benefits. Ordinary monks can even break through on the spot and benefit a lot from eating it. Li Wujie picked up the wine jar, raised his head and drank it all. His face was a little red, and he praised, "This wine is really exciting." Bai Xiaoxi picked up a piece of meat and put it in her mouth to chew, with a happy expression on her face, "It's delicious." Hong Qianye took a few bites and didn't move his chopsticks again. This move made the prince's heart pick up in his throat, and he tentatively said, "Red Fairy, is there something that doesn't suit your taste?" Hong Qianye crossed his arms and closed his eyes to rest. He just had no appetite for these so-called delicacies. Seeing this, the prince looked embarrassed. Yi Junlin said, "Ignore him, he is losing weight." "I see, Red Fairy is really self-disciplined." The prince sighed. "I'm going to lose some weight on your sister." Hong Qianye's eye muscles twitched and he suppressed the anger in his heart, but for now he had no choice but to turn a deaf ear and swallow his anger. The prince picked up the wine glass, stood up and toasted to Yi Junlin, and said loudly, "Sir Yi, it is an honor for me to entertain such a distinguished guest as you on behalf of Zhou dynasty. I will do it first, you can do as you like." After saying that, drink it all in one gulp. Easy to say. Yi Junlin nodded. The reason why he stayed here was to see if the Ghost Clan had any new moves, because the rewards for the tasks previously released by the system had not been distributed yet, which made Yi Junlin realize that the tasks had not been completed satisfactorily. Snap. Suddenly, the prince clapped his hands, and all the maids retreated. An old man wearing a grey robe and a calm face walked into the hall with a guqin on his back. This is Master Nangong. He is the well-deserved #1 musician from the Great Zhou dynasty. He is very famous in many places in Songzhou. The music he plays is not only beautiful, but also contains some profound Taoist meaning, which is very important to practitioners. It's an excellent experience. There once was a nascent soul monk who was nearing the end of his life. He came all the way to listen to the music he played, and he immediately gained insights and achieved a breakthrough on the spot. The prince introduced. "I, Nangong Chongfeng, have met you all." Nangong Chongfeng was neither humble nor arrogant, he cupped his hands and bowed and said calmly. Every move he made showed an indescribable arrogance. Yi Junlin rubbed his chin, wondering why this old guy looked so naughty. "Master Nangong, please start," the prince said in a respectful tone. Nangong Chongfeng sat cross-legged on the ground, placed the guzheng on his knees, and slowly plucked the strings with his fingers, making a wonderful sound that resounded throughout the universe. Zheng. The music is very coherent and smooth, echoing in all directions, and seems to be able to cleanse people's souls. The whole process. Li Wujie's face was a little moved, and he listened carefully. Bai Xiaoxi was so intoxicated that she couldn't help but shake her body slightly. Hong Qianye's face was expressionless, and he didn't even bother to raise his eyelids. As for Yi Junlin, when he heard the second half, he even let out a long yawn, held his head with one hand, and fell asleep. Nangong Chongfeng saw it in his eyes, and his old face became more and more gloomy. What's the meaning? Is this contempt for my piano skills? How many monks heard the music he played and felt grateful as if they had received a treasure, but why did it become a lullaby here? Nangong Chongfeng felt that his self-esteem was frustrated, and he finished playing while holding his breath. He stood up and said coldly, "Your Highness, if this is the case in the future, there is no need for you to invite me. I can't afford to embarrass this person." The prince coughed a few times. "Master Nangong, what do you mean?" Nangong Chongfeng pointed at Yi Junlin on the main seat and said angrily, "Ask him." The prince said cautiously, "Master Yi, do you feel dissatisfied with the music played by Master Nangong?" Yi Junlin picked his ears and said, "It's just so. He liked music with high melody, but Nangong Chongfeng played it too gently, and he was a smelly old man, so Yi Junlin was not interested at all. As for the Taoist meaning contained in the sound of the piano, it has no effect at all on a person who usually lies flat and rotten, and his cultivation relies entirely on playing porcelain. The prince looked embarrassed. He didn't expect that even the music played by Master Nangong was rated as SOSO. This gave the prince a very ridiculous feeling. He had been so fascinated just now. The prince's mind moved, and he looked at Hong Qianye, who was still closed, and said secretly, "Did you see that even the red fairy is immersed in it, closing her eyes and having endless aftertaste?" After receiving this evaluation, Nangong Chongfeng was so angry that he almost vomited blood. This was a naked humiliation for him who was proud and famous. It is a trample on his personality. Shut up. You vulgar guy, you don't understand music at all. Nangong Chongfeng angrily scolded in public. Boom. A fierce murderous aura erupted. Old guy, you already have a way to kill yourself. Li Wujie's eyes flashed with cold light. He grabbed the handle of the knife at his waist and stood up suddenly, with the intention of drawing out the knife and slashing at Nangong Chongfeng. As long as the master gives permission, he will immediately hack Nangong Chongfeng to death. The prince's forehead was covered with cold sweat. How could someone die out of nowhere? He regretted it very much. If he had known earlier, he would not have invited Nangong Chongfeng to play a song on the spot. He really did something wrong. Being locked by the terrifying killing intent, Nangong Chongfeng's hairs exploded and his face changed drastically, but he did not beg for mercy. Instead, he stiffened his neck and looked at Yi Junlin angrily. Obviously, he was very dissatisfied. Your Highness Yi, Master Nangong's temper is like this. He actually has no other intentions, but he speaks his mind. The prince wiped the cold sweat. Your Highness, I can't stand this insult. Even if I die, I have to say that this guy doesn't understand music theory at all. He is just a rough man who only knows how to fight and kill. Why do you say that my piano skills are SOSO? Nangong Chongfeng pointed at Yi Junlin and shouted excitedly. You. Hey. The prince shook his head helplessly. He only hoped that Nangong Chongfeng would die decently. After all, he was the #1 musician in the Great Zhou dynasty. At this time, the atmosphere on the scene was very tense. Li Wujie looked at Nangong Chongfeng with a bad look. Hong Qianye closed his eyes, his face was calm as usual, but the subtle arc of his mouth exposed his true thoughts. Good scolding. I am optimistic about you. Although the playing is indeed very ordinary. After all, Hong Qianye was once a cultivator in the central region. He came from a big place and had a wider range of experience. For example, Nangong Chongfeng's level is at most at the middle and lower level there. Yi Junlin sat in the main seat, feeling speechless, and just wanted to say something. In his mind, the system prompt sound suddenly rang. Ding, congratulations to the host for triggering the option task. Option 1, the host was angry and ordered Nangong Chongfeng to be executed. After the task was completed, 10 high-quality spirit crystals were obtained. Option 2, the host plays a song in person to make Nangong Chongfeng feel ashamed, and is rewarded with 10 bags of top-quality pet feed, milky flavor. Top-quality pet feed, the more you eat, the faster you grow. Huh? There is an option task at this time? Yi Junlin raised his eyebrows. Option 1 is simple, but the reward is too little. Now he has more than 10 million top-quality spirit crystals for a meal. Moreover, asking him to order the execution of Nangong Chongfeng is considered to be furious in the eyes of others. If this gets out, it will damage his perfect image. And option 2 is to play a song in person and slap Nangong Chongfeng in the face. If successful, you will get 10 bags of top-quality pet feed. According to the description of the item, it can increase the cultivation experience of the pet and has the effect of accelerating growth. Now his Mount Kuanpeng has the cultivation of the early stage of Mahayana. Relying on the pureblood of the ancient mythical beast, it is almost invincible in the same realm. However, if you can make further breakthroughs, it will be more dazzling to show off when you take it out. If there is top-quality pet feed, the cultivation level will be improved faster, and there is no need to wait for it to grow slowly. The thought turned. Looking at the Nangong Chongfeng who was glaring at him and fearless, Yi Junlin slowly rolled up his sleeves and smiled crookedly. Isn't it just playing a song? I just need hands. The clear voice echoed in the hall, and everyone else was stunned. Nangong Chongfeng was so angry that his face turned liver-colored. Just hands? What arrogant words. When he was young, he became a disciple of a famous teacher and worked hard to improve his zither skills. Thousands of years have passed. He dared not say that he was the top in zither, but he was one of the few in the entire eastern region. As a result, this guy in front of him dared to say that he just needed hands? It turned out to be a demon who killed people like crazy. Simple-minded and strong limbs.